Okay, first of all, welcome everybody. I'm very, very happy to see all these smiling faces from all over the world who are here this evening. We're going to have a great guest speaker, and we appreciate you coming to our meeting. This is something that we have started about a month and a half ago, and we have found that we have an international audience because we have brought in some keynote speakers who are very noteworthy to listen to in the Rotary family. These are people who have good knowledge, and we found this is one of the best ways to share it and to get it out to everybody. Now, before we start, I need to apologize everybody for starting about 9 minutes late. I did not work since 12 December. Yesterday and today are my first 2 days work back since 12 December. So I just finished, thank you. I just finished work at 5:45. Jumped in a taxi, flew home, jumped on the meeting, and because Randall and Walter and other people have got these things set up, it makes my job a little bit easier to walk in and carry on. But thank you to all my fellow members here who participated and kept things going while I was coming in. It's a rush day, but I'm very happy. First 2 days of work in a long, long time. So I'm happy about it. This evening, you can see from my agenda that's on the screen that the date is wrong. It says 2 September. Sorry, I didn't get that right. I should have made it 9. But the agenda is going to be the same. We're going to welcome the guests that we have. Then I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction. We're going to find out from the secretary what notes he has to pass on to everybody. And then we're going to talk just briefly for a couple minutes about our project and then turn it over to Olderico so he can entertain us for about a half an hour and give us some information that we're all seeking, the reason that we are here. Now, we have started the tradition in our organization, and we will get to that in just a moment. But I would like to say, as president of this club, it is astonishing to me what a few people who coordinate can do around the world. We have received numerous emails from people all over the world who have come online to our meetings and heard our guest speakers. We are working hard to bring everybody together to one effort. We know that the ICC and many other organizations, pieces of Rotary, are trying to increase the cooperation with Russia and other places. And we really, really appreciate it. And those of us who are here, if we can contribute to that, we're certainly willing to do that. And just be open to the fact that things are done different here. Many of you have more experience in Russia than I do. I've only been here for 15 years, not long. Some of you have been here even more and know more about it. So we appreciate all the input that you give us, all the ideas, all the data, all the connections. We are very, very grateful for our global audience who comes to our meeting to hear our speakers and to participate. Our goal as a club is to increase our membership, but also to increase the awareness of Rotary in Russia. And we will do that with some additional projects. We have some now, and we will look for more. But we will be calling on you for cooperation when we're ready to do these other small projects, because we know that you're interested in what happens here. So on behalf of myself and my fellow club members here in St. Petersburg, Russia, welcome this evening. Stay in touch, and we will be getting back to you because we would like to do more in the future. So thank you all very much for being here. I'd like to turn it over to my secretary for a few minutes to find out what notes Randall Eastman has as our secretary. And Randall, can you call up the screen and take over for a few minutes?
There we go. I don't need the screen, I just need meat. But I'm going to look at a couple of notes here. So first of all, I said last week, and I say it again this week, that I hope to turn these little notes into a newsletter, because our club, I don't think, has had a weekly news bulletin in the past, and I think it's very beneficial for us to have one. Number one, so that we can share it with our members and with people outside. And number two, because the district is actually very, very active and all of the material that's coming out of the district is in Russian. So it doesn't help all of our club members, and it doesn't help a lot of our visitors from outside. So I've just started this process of trying to encapsulate a couple of key points and put them into our news announcements. So number one announcement, just to repeat, the club dues are due, and our treasurer, we're now in the 3rd month of the year, so our treasurer is looking for our members to pay the 1st quarter of dues for the club, as well as the Rotary International and district dues. Number two, next week before our meeting on the 16th, 3 hours earlier, the man who you're looking at right now, President Michael, is going to be speaking to the Astana Rotary Club in Kazakhstan. Astana is an English-speaking club, and we've reached out to the English-speaking clubs in what in Russia is called the near abroad. So the countries that made up the former Soviet Union. There are a couple of English-speaking clubs. Astana is one of them, and they're very excited to have Michael come and speak to them about what we are all about, and we hope to find out more about what they're all up to and see how we can partner. So they will be meeting 3 hours earlier than our meeting, 7 o'clock their time via Zoom. If anyone's interested, we will share the details. Secondly, we've been introduced by Gabriella in the past few days, or the past week, to reconnect with what used to be called the Romanov Center. So I was a bit confused at first, but today it's all clear to me. The Romanov Center no longer exists as the Romanov Center because Mr. Romanov is gone. But the center still exists and is doing the same things it was doing before to help children with, particularly children with cerebral palsy who have difficulties walking. And through our help in our global grant and the work of the center, they help children learn how to walk who haven't been able to walk yet. So there is an invitation to us to go and meet with the new Deputy Director of the Child Rehabilitation Center, who is also the head of I Can Walk, the specific part of the center that's for the kids. And through Gabby's introduction, we've learned that they have now changed their model to make it more sustainable in that they are charging some customers a fee, and for the people who don't have the money to pay for the service, that's where they're looking for support. So it's a social enterprise now, and this is something that could be very good for us to reconnect with. District news. We have been received an invitation from White Knights Club in St. Petersburg to join them on the 26th of September to help clean up the Gulf of Finland. Of course, they're only going to clean up a tiny bit of the Gulf of Finland, but that's it's to kick off a large-scale environmental initiative. And if I understood it correctly, an initiative across Russia by many clubs, but this initiative on the 26th is just with the St. Petersburg clubs. And we have another invitation for us to participate in the District Youth Committee, which is looking for a member from various different clubs to join them on the committee to help really raise awareness and be very proactive in the youth community in Russia. We, as you know, have a small number of members, so it's maybe difficult for us to join, but the invitation is out there. And what else? And then at the end of throughout this week, we will send out an update on our weekly meeting calendar. Michael has been updating this, and I'm trying to confirm a couple of speakers who have agreed to, potentially agreed to speak. As soon as they're nailed down, then I can give that back to Michael and we can share this. But whether we have meetings in the hotel in the near future or online, we will need more speakers. And we need all of our club members to help with that. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your comments. We need to have that update for our own club. We understand that many of you from around the world are not members here, but we have to take care of those small things each week because that's a necessity in order for us to function. The Secretary has given his update, and we have 2 projects that we are currently involved in. One is air purifiers that we have purchased and we will be putting them in places of need. And the other one is our current bench project. Now, I will say a few comments about the current bench project, and then I'm going to turn it over to Walter to ask a couple questions about the air purifier. On the bench project, we are going back and revalidating the fact that we have got the money to pay for them, which we have. And we're going to go back and find out that we're giving credit to everybody, because for all of you, and I know there's several of you on the screen who have contributed, you will be receiving a certificate of appreciation from our club in the near future for donation to this cause, to try to get the word about Rotary being in Russia spread out. For those of you who may be new to this broadcast today and not here before, what we have done is in front of the Hermitage, probably the world's second greatest museum. The Hermitage has a fountain and it has benches around the fountain. We were able to work with the city and have the benches they had there removed and new benches put in that have the Rotary logo on the bench. It's a very prestigious position. It's a place where we can have people who come to the Hermitage and then afterwards come out and sit on the bench, know that Rotary is part of the city. Rotary is contributing to the city of St. Petersburg and trying to help people. The recognition opportunity there is great. So it has worked out good for us. We have purchased 18 benches. The benches are in place. We will be setting the date for celebration in the near future. And when we do, we will let everybody know. But all of those of you who contributed, you will be receiving a letter of appreciation from us and thanks. And we will send along with that pictures of our celebration and so forth. So it is coming. We're just not quite sure of the dates. We're working with the city to try and work out that information as to when that will be. So we will post that and keep you up to date. But the project is near completion. And we are talking to other Rotarians about the possibility of expanding this project to put more benches in St. Petersburg and some other locations in Russia. We are trying to let people know that Rotary is here to build communications between Rotary International and Russia, to get that connection there. So it's a good project and it's going forward. I'd like to ask Walter now just to give us a quick 2 or 3 minute update on the air purifiers that we have bought. Walter, can you give us some information?
Yes, sure, Michael. Thank you very much for your introduction on yours. The purifier project, the purifiers 8 have been handed over to Andreas Bohne. Unfortunately, he's not here today. They're going to go to a school which is called Yudny Mir. The status of finishing it off officially and having pictures taken is stuck currently with paperwork. For me, taking over the handover is a surprise. I'm quite new to Rotary. The requirement says for handing over this purifier, there must be an particularly medical need or a medical institution. So if that's a school, there must be a medical doctor. And from this doctor or from this institution who has the medical name, or I don't know how to say that, this requirement must come from exactly this, with a medical background. So we cannot just hand them over to the school itself, but it must be a medical thing. So I've got the papers and I'm in contact with Ulyanovsk directly. Maybe this is something I overheard at the very beginning, where I was naively expecting this to be a straightforward thing. But due to the, I think this got something to do with global grant application and so forth, people just want to make sure that these purifiers will be at places where it is required. So, and this is something which we need to figure out how to place this document and who is going to be the receiver. So to cut a long story short, it can't be a school who says, thank you very much for your donation. It must be the medical center of the school or the doctor of the school based on COVID-19 who requested it for the school or whatever it is. And this procedure, this documentation procedure, this is where we are at right now to sort it out so that everyone is clear with that.
Okay, all right, very good.
Understandable more or less, or did I?
No, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
again, it's just an ongoing project. It's not a very large one, but it's because we have a small club. It was a small project for us, but we were able to make it happen quickly up to this point. And now, as you know, many of you dealt with Russia before, there's always going to be a little bit of bureaucracy you got to go through, and that's what we're doing now. But we will see it through. We are confident it will happen. It's just a matter of time to get these in place.
Yes. Yeah.
And with the schools starting now in 1st of September and so forth, they need these in their classrooms. They need them there. So we just got to go through the bureaucracy, and we'll work through it. We'll persist until it happens. There's no choice on that. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. We're gonna talk just briefly about our guest speaker. I'm very excited. I have not heard this gentleman before. It's going to be a first time for me. Just a little bit of background about Odorico before he gives us his presentation. He is a digital entrepreneur. Now, boy, I'm not sure he's by himself anymore. A few years ago, that might have been something rare, but right now, there's a lot of people calling themselves digital entrepreneurs, but I think Odorico's ahead of most of them. He deals in software development primarily with web marketing and digitization of strategies. He's been very active in Rotary for a long time. He's a past president in the Milano Club. He's been the District International Services Commission chair for 3 years. And he is someone that we know has key information in Rotary that we can use. So we are looking forward to hearing from him and what he has to say about what's going on. And I can tell you, in Russia, we feel just a little bit isolated because we don't have access to all the information that you do in some of the other countries where English is normally used and a lot of information flows. So we are sitting here waiting with bated breath to hear what he has to say. So without any further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Odorico. And Odorico, if you don't mind, I'd like to go about 30 minutes if you can, and then we'll open it for questions and answers, if that's all right with you.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everybody, and I am happy and proud to be here with you this evening. Thanks to past President Irina and to the President for the invitation. This evening we will talk about one of the most important projects in our district. The name is Programma Virgilio. Virgilio was the name of the man that lead the poetry Dante Alighieri in Divina Commedia opera. It's a pure Rotarian service where Rotarians share their professional skills for free to new entrepreneurs to start a new company. I am going to share the screen now, just to start my presentation. We start from the history. Programma Virgilio was born in 1997 from District 2040, and now it's 2041. And in 2001 became a program because it started to have a success. In 2002, start to spread in other districts in Italy, and in 2013 start to spread this kind of project in foreign district. In 2016, Programma Virgilio marks 1,000 new companies tutored and 1,000 new companies created. And in 2020, now we are thinking about a new organization. Just for an overview, I want to show you a little video where you can see the context of the project. Well, we are living now in an era where there are big transformations that COVID has accelerated, where speed with the things happen, and especially uncertainty about what will happen in future are the dominant characteristic of our era. You know that in mathematics, speed and uncertainty are called chaos. So you have to see about the context. The founder of this project was thinking that in the Rotary focus area of economic growth was important to share the knowledge, because in Rotary there are a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge, a lot of great experience, job experience with manager, entrepreneur, professional. And it is absolutely important that the Rotarian start to share this kind of knowledge, especially with the new generation. My boss, I worked in IBM 25 years ago. My boss said that you have in your life, you have 3 moments. The first is earn, learn, and give back. I think that it's important to learn a new skill, to earn, to create our economic position, and after you have to give back, because you cannot go to the tomb with your knowledge, and you need to share about it. But before to go in the other thing, I want to share about some information about the more resistant living species. You can see that you know this kind of animal. Okay, this is named tardigrade, and it's a micro animal that is able to survive in extreme and hostile conditions. A colony of these animals now is in Israeli space where that is crashed in the moon during the last trip, and they think to find them still alive when they will be back to recover it. This is one of the 2 species. The second species is the owner of little and medium company in Italy, because the context is absolutely the same. Absolutely hostile environment, 65% taxes, incredible bureaucracy, absurd requirements, and thousands of incomprehensible and law, very, very terrible. So the founder was thinking that it was absolutely necessary to think about to grow the local economy. Because everywhere in the world, you need companies to grow local economy. This is a pure service project, because Rotarians give their knowledge, they share their knowledge, and they help a new entrepreneur to start a new company. It's free of cost. It's pure service, and there is no absolutely cost. It's a knowledge sharing project where people, Rotarians, give their knowledge to the new entrepreneur. And for a club, is absolutely attractive for new entrepreneurs, for new members maybe. And also it's a challenging project, because involve all the members of the club to work and to enter in this activity. We decided that is absolutely important to create tools, free tools. Most of them are open source, and we create an agile method, very simple, fast and quick, because you know that in past big fish ate little fish. Today is not more true because fast company, it's a slow company. And we create some very easy and simple to use tools. Business plan, of course, is the final destination of this project for an entrepreneur. But before you have to validate the idea, you need something very, very simple to understand if the opportunity, the business idea and the opportunity can work or not. We started to use a business model Canva that is absolutely easy and to use, and in one page you can see if this business idea can work or not. Here there is a very short video where you can see how it works, our system, and here you can see.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, a tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
Well, so this is the very simple system we use, and we create for a new district, for a new club that want to start this kind of project that is totally free. One kit. This kit is for tutors and entrepreneurs. So there is a list of procedures, a lot of forms to fill during tutoring program. Of course, business model canvas example, training for tutors and new entrepreneur, tools open space free, open source free. Best practice for tutors and entrepreneurs, and one database online where you have to manage all the milestones for every project. Collaboration open source tools like Slack, business plan example, database of tutors and skill, because you need to map all the competence and the skills of every tutor, and you need, of course, to go to find easily when you need it. One NDA, not disclosure agreement, other kind of agreement and contract, standard contract to use for the agreement with the new entrepreneur and for the company of the new entrepreneur. We have also a database and a website where we store all the activity, all the project, all the state of art of the project, and also the database of the tutor. This one is absolutely important because if you work online, you don't need, for example, to meet in person. This kind of project can work also in COVID period because you don't need to meet. It's totally online and you can manage everything. Also, all the tutor service can be done online, totally online. Business plan, of course, is the last part of the tutoring program, of the process. But before, with the business model canvas, in the first part, you can understand if the idea can work or not. When you do business plan, you do when you have to enter in deep in the tutoring model. So after 3 months that you started to tutor the new entrepreneur, you can step by step define the milestone of the activity, define all the forms and the NDA, because all the idea is reserved and only the tutor and the entrepreneur knows the details. There are the tools online to manage this one. We do a lot of meetings online because the tutoring process is made online. We have a map of the skill that we need for every kind of project. There are a lot of documents and a repository with the knowledge of all of these activities. And the final report is a suggestion if the project can go ahead or you have to stop and you have to finish to the tutoring. Where you use a business plan, especially if you need microcredit or, for example, crowdfunding, we give support to the new entrepreneur to find a new investor, to ask the loan to the bank, to ask a microcredit, to find a business partner or a partner in business. We do also crowdfunding campaign, and we also help them to find government funds, especially made for help new companies. And in this case, of course, you need the business plan that is a document, a big document, and it's not easy to create. Yes, of course, if you need to start a company, to manage a bar or a restaurant, it's enough to use the business model Canva. If you want to enter in deep and you have a manufacturing company where you need to buy some other things, of course, you need to do a business plan. So this is all the tools that we can share with our tutors, with also the other districts that adopt our project, and how it works, which is the process of this project. If you know, idea is important only for the 1% of the project. The other 99% is execution. Okay, it's absolutely important, the execution. How you go to execute the new business idea. And now it's not enough. Also, this you need absolutely fast execution. Because for many kind of business, you need to grow faster, to do it faster, because there are maybe competitors that can do and can have the same idea. And so I think that in this case, it's important to see which is the chronology of the project. And it's absolutely simple. Our timeline is the registration of the new entrepreneur. They enter in a form in our website. Where he describes a very short executive summary of the project, very simple. And after, there is a committee that in 10 days have a meeting and evaluate. They have a call with the new entrepreneur, and they can evaluate if the project can start. We accept all the project because it's totally free, and we accept all the project that we receive. And after, when will be assigned one main tutor and maybe other tutors, because the tutors generally have a different skill, accounting, marketing, IT, lawyer. There are different kind of skill, and maybe we start with one or two tutors, and the main tutor manage the other tutors that are all Rotarians. For example, if I need the contract for the new company, for the new entrepreneur, if I need the more information about IT, about the marketing, of course, I need another tutor. And after this, start 1 year tutoring. Our tutoring works for 1 year. After 3 months, we are able to validate the business idea and to decide if it's possible to go ahead or not. And after 1 year, finish this kind of process, and the company or develop by herself, or and the tutors stop at the service. The milestone to start, especially in the first 3 months, are the project, the definition of the project and the frame about it. So the new entrepreneur need to describe especially the business idea in deep, and we have to find which is the buyer persona, so who will be the future customer, where I can find them, when I can find them, and how I can find them. So which are the touch points with them. After we do a market analysis where we can check if there is the opportunity for this business idea or not. And also, it's absolutely important to do a competitors analysis where you can check if somebody had the same business idea and if there is something to manage. Before to close the first 3 months step, there is the test of the market that is done with the minimum valuable product, quindi it's a very little part of the product. With this product, you can test the market with a mini website. You can check if it works, if somebody is interested. You can send some traffic on this mini website, and you can check if there is somebody that want to buy this one. For some project already we started to sell it, especially when we did some crowdfunding campaign. We started to sell one product that is the first one, and we give the final version after 6 or 8 months. So now we have the process, and where you can find the entrepreneur. There are different places where you can find the entrepreneur. University, in professional schools, local chamber of commerce, and entrepreneur association, where maybe chamber of commerce, entrepreneur association, they have a similar program to our project, but they cost, and often the new entrepreneur cannot afford this kind of cost. So I think that with this project we can help them to have one opportunity. Another place is startup competition. You know that startup is absolutely a word, very complex word, where you must have some experience. You know that there is a lot of startup competition all around the world in many places. And you need to check because not every startup are good, or the idea is not good, or there are, for example, like in university, it was the lifetime student that stay in the university till 40 years ago because family paid. And now there are also the lifetime startupper that they continue to do something that without finalizing anything. And you have to be able to understand this one because especially in startup world, there are a situation that I think that if startup world disappear in this moment, I think that many people we need really to go to work because they are not missing nothing now. But this is something with my experience. Of course, online we do some posts in Facebook, Instagram, inside of our website, and of course, Talk Rotarian and Rotaract Network and family and friends. Often you can reach a new opportunity. And the tutors, where you can find the tutors? Of course, the tutors you can find in your club, in the clubs of the in the district. And if you don't have some skills, you can find in not Rotarian, asking to become Rotarian. This is a good opportunity to spread the Rotary point of view. So I think that in our case, we had some people that was involved in projects, and they became, and after they became Rotarian. So this is the process obviously in a very quick explanation. And now I want to talk about the numbers. Which are the numbers of this project? From 23 years ago, we tutored 1,420 new companies. And now we have 78 tutors active. And the 64% of new entrepreneurs give up after 3 months. This is not a fault. I think that this is a success because remember that Programma Virgilio must also to help entrepreneurs to understand if their idea is good or not. So they don't waste money. After 3 months, if it doesn't work, if we can see that the idea cannot work, okay, stop it and don't waste money. Change your idea or find a new business idea. It's changed also the market because before 2010, 1 every 5 was graduated. Now 4 every 5 is graduated. And the 70% of our entrepreneurs are under 30 years old age, and 30% is over 30 years age. But now it's growing up, this percentage, because there is a lot of people that is going to lose job around 40 or 50 years old, and they need to reinvent with a personal opportunity. And is 75% men, 25% women in area manufacturing, trade, services, digital. And this is the last point is absolutely important, is in 20 years, more than 3,500 people had a new job thanks to our entrepreneur. So 3,500 people are now working in our companies that are created. I want to talk about some cases. We worked in bar, restaurant, shops, professional services, craft, manufacturing, IT service, pharma and food production, tech, no-profit company, commerce, mechanical, manufacturing, electronic, app develop, software develop, global service and consultant service. We did a lot of cases and we had a lot of experience in this. And now I want to talk about one case where I was the tutor. It's Feralidens company. It's Feralidens in Latin means the animal that is laughing, because they produce shoes without using animal skin. And this project was absolutely interesting. And I spent a lot of time in this project to start up it, because we did a very good activity, especially we went to find the market, because the market is most of people, especially vegan people, that they don't want shoes with animal skin. And we had a lot of meetings with vegan people. They are very strict, very Taliban vegan. For example, they don't eat ketchup, because in every kilo of ketchup during the process of production can be some little mosquito inside. So it was absolutely amazing to understand every kind of opportunity. But at the end, we find the right kind of customers. And after we had the problems with the production, because nobody was able to develop shoes without using skin. And so we found somebody that was able to help us with Alcantara material. We start to use this one. And also this man that was an engineer say, but he was surprised about the project. I say, but Rotary is doing something like this. And say, I was thinking that Rotarian only made for dinner and to chat. And so he was absolutely amazed about our project. And after he became a Rotarian. So this project now is active. They are working very well. And also after the first year, they arrived in the second place in startup competition in University Bocconi. And they entered in incubator, in a startup incubator in University Bocconi, and we arrived second. So it was a great, great activity, and also, I think that I forgot all the meetings with vegan. I don't know if there are vegan here in the audience, but after a lot of meetings with them, now my booth is save a tree, eat a vegan. So this is a success story, very, very interesting. The second success story was not tutored from me, but was tutored from another Rotarian. It's interesting because Planeta Renewable, they started a startup, and I helped them just to spread with the market, digital marketing, because they produce biomass with using a Miscanthus tree. That is a special tree that is very good for biomass and can be used. You know that the farmer sometimes need to put the grass in the field just to have a rest in the field, and but with grass they don't earn money and they waste money. With this Miscanthus, they can put, for example, every 5 years in the field can have a rest and be ready for another tree in future, and they can sell this one to create a green energy. This one is another interesting project that is developed, and as a good success. So I want to point your attention still in the last point, that is in 23 years, more than 3,500 people had a new job thanks to our entrepreneur. This is, I think, a very important data. Which is the future? The future is now the situation after COVID is absolutely not a simple moment, but I think that we need to first to make our project worldwide. Of course, this kind of program is great to adapt this kind of sentence, is think global, act local, and because now the moment is absolutely a very difficult moment. You know that speed and uncertainty is a chaos, and to manage chaos now is not enough to be ready, because you need to be prepared, because ready means knowing when, where, and what will happen. To be prepared means to have a mindset, a mentality that is suitable to manage chaos, and we need to develop this kind of skill, and we need to be able to go out to the comfort zone and to see, to think a new way, new opportunity, without thinking about what you lost with, for example, with the COVID. So I think that is absolutely important to think, to start from the new situation, and to think about what you can do and what you can change. For example, the power of network of Virgilio is working very well in food and restaurant. Now we have a lot of restaurants that they have a big problem because they have not customers, and or they have less customers than before. We was thinking about a new idea, a new vision, that is we introduced the concept of dark kitchen. In US is already in use. Dark kitchen is very interesting. So we help 4 entrepreneurs that had the restaurant, and they produce food, and they deliver direct to the house the food, or to the office, without asking, waiting that the customer arrive in their restaurant. This kind of point of view changed the paradigm, and those companies are working very well in this period. And now they also have an agreement with UK, with a company in UK, and when COVID will stop, they will land in UK to share this kind, and to start this kind of business model, because you know that in UK is one of the countries where food generally is good before somebody start to cook it. So it's important, if there is some Italian that cook, they can have for sure a great success. So we need to prepare, we need to create and help entrepreneurs to manage and to generate a prepared company with the right mindset. Because the future is a VUCA future. In this video, you can see what I mean about VUCA. going to finish will be the next Virgilio. Of course, we need to help new startup to become ready and prepared. Agile system to evaluate the business idea in a short time, a global project where to create a big repository and to share the knowledge, and a big impact for tutors and entrepreneurs, especially with the network. And Rotarian tutors can become district resource network resource. I am DISC and I manage a district resource network in my district. And we are thinking also to international exchange for tutors, entrepreneur, and the digital global network for tutors, entrepreneur with a special website and forum will be like a social network that we are planning in the future. I think that we need to remember that we are Rotarians and Rotarians are leaders, and leaders need to drive the change. If we don't, we are useless leaders. So with this last idea and the last sentence that is made pay off, that is be local, be international, and of course be digital. I want to say thank you all very much.
Thank you, Olderico. Thank you very much for all the information. I don't know about the other people, but for me, that was an awful lot to take in, and I'm going to have to digest that information. So I'm probably going to look at this recording again after we're finished, so that I can try to absorb all this. There's an awful lot of good information in there. At this time, I'd like to find people. A few of you have your hands up. I'd like to give you an opportunity to ask Olderico any questions that you may have. So if you will, go to the reactions button on the bottom of your screen. You'll see a reactions button. Press that button and you will see a hand come up, such as I just have on my screen. And we can ask questions for Olderico for a few minutes to get his feedback. And then we will continue with the rest of the meeting and closure. So any questions at all, please click on the reactions button and I'll ask.
Yes, of course, I am available if you want to write to me or to ask any question after. Of course, I am totally available to give all the information about the project and to help who is interested to start it in their club or in their district.
Yeah, I know that Olderico, myself, this last 7 months, that there's been an explosion of people online starting businesses, doing things that could use some of this information. And it is interesting that we're trying to figure out how to bring it into the Rotary world and how we can use it. If we can make that connection clear and we can go that direction, it can help all of us. But we just have to wait and see how we're going to use it. I know for myself, I'm a little bit older, like some of our other members on the screen today. And some of this is we're not into computer software and so forth. So a lot of this is our challenging ourselves to think about these things differently because we're not familiar with them. Does anyone have a question for Olderico?
Michael, can I ask a question?
Sure, go right ahead.
I saw on one of the slides, Olderico, it made me very happy to see St. Petersburg. So I'm just curious, because on the previous slide with all the countries, I did not see Russia. So I wonder if you have had any experience with Virgilio in Russia.
Yeah,
have you taken any steps? What would you like to do?
Yeah. Past President Irina started 3 years ago in Milan. Was in Milan. She started the basic training. And after we don't continue the other activity because she was involved in her president year. But yes, of course, we are able to help you to restart if you are interested because the program is absolutely free, totally free. And
how do you normally start it? You started at a club level or you started at a district level and then push it down? What has been your experience?
Generally, club level is better because it's easy, because in district you need the governor agreement, and is generally governor has planned it for many years ago, his activity. So it's better to start from like bottom up from the clubs, and it works very, very well. We can help them with training, online training, all the material, all the activity, and it works absolutely.
I saw I saw a country, I think it might have been Thailand in Asia, that was highlighted. Where in Asia have you had some success with this program?
We started in Manila, and we tutored some companies, especially in food area, like restaurant, bar, or market for food market. We did this activity with some clubs in Manila.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Howard, you have a question?
A question for Alderico, and related to starting this program. I'm a chemistry professor, don't know very much about business, but do you think that Rotary clubs could maybe send a person to a business college, you know, of a university in where their city is, and maybe they have a public outreach, a small business administration, or some kind of way that that the business school can project this plan, your plan, or the elements of your plan to. There's so many entrepreneurs. I mean, I think you did a beautiful presentation. I think anybody that's trying to think about setting up a small business would appreciate that. But how to do that with Rotary and maybe people in Rotary clubs where they're universities with business schools, make the contact. Can they relate to this, your website, and maybe, what do you do? Fill out papers, contact you? Well, I'm not sure if you think that plan helps your plan, but what do you think? Maybe you're doing it already.
You can start from different point of view. It's not necessary to start from university. First, about the tutor, because you must think about two different ways. One is the tutors, the other one is the entrepreneurs. They are two customers, okay, totally different, okay. The tutors, they don't need to know about business. They have a knowledge. For example, if you are chemical expert, if they arrive a project where there is to develop something with the chemical topics, well, your skill will be absolutely important in this activity. You have to create some tutors that can start basically the administration, like how to create a business plan, how to create a business model Canva. This is the start part of the activity of the tutors. And this is one point. The second point is to find a new entrepreneur. You can go for example, if you start from Chamber of Commerce, they have a lot of people that go there. They want to start a new company. Chamber of Commerce say, okay, come here. You can do a training, but you have to pay 2,000, 3,000 euros. This one doesn't work. We are Rotarians. We can help for free them, and I think that it's easy. And when you start, the other one start to know you. For example, University Bocconi knows us now, and they send us some interesting project just to evaluate. In the last, we found a bank, a little bank, local bank near Milano, that they say, we have a lot of entrepreneurs, but we are not able to evaluate. For example, one entrepreneur that wants to develop a PP. We are not able to evaluate them. Okay, can you do it? We do it for free. And when you start, it works. They know you, and it's a spread, a normal spread that works like magic, word of mouth.
Thank you.
Antonina, you had a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was always my feel that sharing experience and knowledge in all areas of life is most important. How we can help our communities and persons. So I represent also International Rotary Committee, Canada, Russia. And at the moment we are working on online public university that offers different opportunities, online opportunities, connecting in terms of tutoring and sharing knowledges in all kind of areas of human life, basically life. So thank you very much, and I definitely put it on my list for our meeting with committee. And second, what are criteria how you choose these potential entrepreneurs who can be enrolled? Are they to be Rotarians, or it's just people?
Everybody. Tutors must be Rotarian, of course.
Tutors, thank you. This is great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The entrepreneurs can be everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Walter, you had a question?
However, Alderico, thank you very much for this refreshing topic as well. My question would be as well, who's sitting on the committee? I've had already experience with a startup accelerator, as they're probably called as well, with Startup Accelerator, and there are, I think, 3 main points why startups fail, among others. Number 1 is the wrong partner, because the best friends can become the worst friends throughout the process. Number 2 is the surrounding environment. When there's too many corporate people, no one's going to explain you which buttons to push when it comes to business or approaching other people. And number 3 is the personality of the founder. If someone is shy, but like Howard, he's a chemistry guy, he's got a brilliant idea, but he's lacking other team members to pick up the sales part and so forth, or the admin part, as for my person, is very difficult. Is that something the committee would try to help you with, or how would the daily process look like? Are these weekly Scrum meetings with a video call, or how can I, so I'm going to start tomorrow, and then how would that be?
Every two weeks, there is a meeting where you can find and understand if the entrepreneur has the eye of the tiger.
Correct.
If you understand this, you can go ahead. After you can find also, for example, I tutored the companies, very interesting, with a great business idea that works, but the entrepreneur is not, I think, is not able to do the process. And so we are looking for a partnering company because it's absolutely important to find the right person, because you know that we do some elevator speech just to understand if they are able to do it. And but every 2 weeks we have a meeting online with the tutor, as every 2 weeks the meeting with the entrepreneur, and all are registered so the committee can evaluate it, and there is a common evaluation just to minimize the mistake.
The risks, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Enrico. Anybody else have a question? We'll take one more before we finish. Irina, you had your hand up.
Very short question to Enrico. First of all, thank you, because it was my idea to invite you, and I hope we will continue your program here. The question is, it's a great possibility to spread the knowledge about Rotary, especially in Russia where no one knows about Rotary, if we start this kind of program. And maybe you have this experience that some of your students become to be a Rotarian, or invite someone in your Rotary Club, just increase membership, for example.
Yeah, for example, some entrepreneurs after the tutoring program became Rotarians, and also some people involved, for example, we didn't have some skills in some project, we find outside, and they was not Rotarian, but we asked them to become Rotarian if they are interested. 3 of them became Rotarian. So this kind of project is, I think, can be interesting to grow the membership.
Very good. All right. Well, Odorico, thank you very much for your information this evening. We had a crowd of about 27 people, so let's all of us give a nice large round of applause to Odorico for his presentation. Thank you very, very much. I'm wondering where you're sitting, because in your background there looks like a nice shoreline with a lake and so forth. I see 3 or 4 people who have water in their background, and I think they're either close to water or they're thinking about where they'd like to be near water. So, oh, there's another one just coming in. Thomas is jumping in with his picture of his bridge in water. So I think for many of us, go ahead.
Actually, I am in Cinque Terre, Liguria Sea. It's a very famous place, and I invite you to visit it. It's a wonderful place, especially you can find in
what I'm going to do in a moment, I'm going to clap my hands. And when I clap my hand, the COVID virus is going to be gone from the earth. Everybody's going to travel, and we're all going to visit each other again. Who's in favor? Who's in favor of that? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're in favor of that. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I will try it in a few minutes. We'll see if it's going to work. But I think that Rotary is growing internationally because of the COVID virus. We have people like yourself visiting our club with people on the screen from Canada and Europe and Asia, all over the place. It is actually helping us a little bit. But I think all of us at this time, after 9 months, are pretty tired of it. I think we're ready for a change. I think we're ready for something different to happen. So I think we as Rotarians need to prepare for that. But maybe this tough time has made us just a little bit better, just a little bit more resilient in learning how to bounce back from a difficult situation. And we're trying to make the most out of it by being online and sharing this information. We have some people that go ahead.
Think about it. Before COVID, I attend Rotary meetings offline in 41 nations before COVID. After COVID, from March, I attend Rotary meetings in 73 nations online, of course.
Very good. Very good. And I know for many of our club members, we were here in Russia. We may have, on a rare occasion, traveled and gone to a club somewhere else, but now we've been able to have visitors come here, and we're very happy to have them. And certainly for all the people that are new to our club meeting here, if and when, because we know it will happen, the virus is lifted and people are able to travel, when you come to St. Petersburg, and we will certainly host you. We will certainly be happy to see your smiling faces here, because you're finding out a little bit about us and we're finding out a little bit about you. Just before we close, I'd like to make a couple comments. We have a few people on screen that I have not seen at our previous meetings, and I would like to welcome them. Nancy Lewis, have you been to our meetings before?
No, this is my first one. Great meeting. Thank you for letting me participate.
And where are you from?
I'm from the same club as Antonina, the Rotary Club of Quinte Sunrise in Belleville, Ontario.
Very good. Thank you very, very much. Thomas Gorski, have you been to our meeting before?
Several times, yes, I have.
Okay. I guess I've just been so busy, I must have missed your face. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. And Marcella, Marcella, have you been to our meeting before? Maybe she's away from her computer. I'm not sure. And
okay.
Romney.
Hi, I was trying to speak, but my microphone was off. Thank you very much for asking me. It's my first time and it was really interesting. Thank you very much, and hi to everybody.
Very good. Thank you, Marcella. Romney, I believe this is your second meeting or your first meeting?
This is my second one.
Second. Well, welcome. And Romney is new to us, and he's new to us in St. Petersburg and has joined some of the other clubs that we have here. And it's good to see his smiling face. I think the rest of you, Frederick, Felix.
Michael, I think Rami is at our venue, actually. It's at the Angleterre Astoria, or?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Michael. No, it's my first time, so I have received an invitation through my email, and I'm a member of Toastmasters Moscow Free Speakers International Club. So it's my first time, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Well, welcome, welcome. And Felix Gluck, you've been on our site before?
Yes, of course. That's the fourth time that they're visitors.
Okay, I thought I recognized the face, but I didn't remember the name. I apologize for that.
It's okay.
The happiest name ever.
That's my normal habit. Unfortunately, I don't know why I picked that up over life. I see people I haven't seen in 5 years and I recognize their face, but I sure can't tell you their name. I'm not good with names, so I need to take a class on names, but I remember their faces. I remember what people look like. For all of you, we are going to be meeting again, and it's going to be on 16 September. 16 September will be a live meeting for us at the Angel Tier Hotel. We're going to get together on the 16th. And then on 23 September, we are planning to have another guest speaker. We have one lined up, but I don't want to give you a name until he confirms. But as soon as he confirms, we will put that information out to all of you who it is. And if it's the person that I think it's going to be another very interesting session for us. So we will put that information out. You know, as president, it's a little bit ominous to be a president of a club that is so online and not live. I look forward to seeing the people live and shaking their hands and talking to them about different issues. But we have to get used to doing this online because this is the way it is. So for our club, the plan is to go with live meetings and online meetings, to have both types. So there will be future times in the next month, at least once every month, when we will bring in a speaker and we will be online and we will let everybody know about it. So you all are more than welcome to come back and join us and see us again. For my current members that I have online, Kai and Walter and Randall, Irina, any comments, anything you'd like to say before we close out as an active member of our club? Anything from anyone? Randall?
Michael, I don't see you wearing your traditional pocket flute.
No, I did not have my pocket square today because I was in a factory and I did not think it was appropriate. And I ran from there to here and jumped behind the screen and didn't have time to grab one. So I'm undressed. Sorry about that, Randall. That's the way life is sometimes. You just gotta roll with the punches. Thank you for noticing it though. You have a very sharp eye. Irina, welcome back. Walter, Kai, Randall, we'll all be meeting next week, and we've got a lot of things on our plate. To all of our guests, thank you for coming. We welcome you back again, and we're going to bow out and close our meeting just a couple minutes past the time we wanted, but we're on time as far as we're concerned. Smiling faces everywhere. Everybody, goodbye. Thank you very much for coming.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Elderico.
Hope to see you all again. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
The bell.
Great job. Great job, you guys.
The bell.
Thank you.
The bell.
I forgot.